The Philadelphia 76ers are 3-0. Tyrese Maxey is putting the league on notice after all the slander that he received last year. And I feel the complete opposite. Last year, I feel like they couldn't win a game to start the season. Now I feel like they can't lose a game. We got to talk about Tyrese. We got to talk about VJ. We got to talk about Dembona, Kelly Oubre. We got to talk about Eric freaking Gordon. We got to talk about Grimes. We got to talk about how this team scratched and clawed again, and they just find a way, man. Let's go.
Sixers, why won't you just lose and put me out of my misery? Why do you guys keep doing this to me, bro? Nobody else should touch the ball right here. He shoots it from the logo. Oh, we're going overtime! Tyrese Maxey is a god amongst men!
Welcome back to Run It Back Philly, brought to you by Bright Medical Technology of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you are a 76ers sicko, subscribe to the channel and tune in to this post-game live show every single 76ers game. We were just live for the entire game. We had an absolute blast once again. I haven't had this much fun watching the 76ers since 2001. We are ranked 3rd on Apple Podcasts. If you want to listen to this in audio form on your way to work tomorrow morning, go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any other podcast platform. All of these post-game shows are posted there in audio form after the show. Thank you for being here. Hit the like. Let's get 1,000 likes on the stream. Guys, I just didn't see it coming. Man. All off season, I was just so angry about this team. How do they look the complete opposite in one season? How? I feel exactly how I felt last season, except last season they couldn't win a game to start the season. This season, it feels like they can't lose a game. I mean, I know the difference. The difference is last year we had 3 40-year-olds on the floor getting destroyed in transition defense and rebounding and everything. This year, you know, you got younger, you got more athletic, you got more rebounding, you got more interior defense. Andre Drummond comes back. He's just not looking like he looked last year. Dembona, another year. You have the addition of Quentin Grimes. You have the addition of VJ Edgecombe. So it's a totally different team. But wow, it is a night and day difference. And Sicko Nation, we deserve this. And I don't know if this team's going to, go all the way. I'm not going to say this team's going to win a championship or anything. But after what we went through last season, Sicko Nation, we deserve this. We sat here and watched every single game last season in one of the worst seasons I've ever watched as a 76ers fan, but we did it anyway. And this is our reward. The 76ers are younger, they're faster, and they're just damn fun to watch, man. They are fun to watch. They fly up and down the floor, they block shots, they throw alley-oops, they turn defense into offense, they go on runs, the crowd's behind. I want to say this, and this might sound crazy, but for those of you that were around in 2001, that team wasn't supposed to be an NBA Finals team, but they were athletic, they played hard, they were scrappy, they had one of the best perimeter defenses in the game, and the vibes are it's just feeling like 2001 to me, man. The vibes are so 2001, and then you tell me they're going to be wearing the black jerseys as their alternates this year. The vibes are so 2001. And they started 2001 10-0. And the Sixers right now are 3-0. And I thought, after starting 2-0, I just thought, like, all right, they're going to lose a game to the Magic. They're not going to start the season 3-0. They're going to lose a game to the Magic, right? And once again, guys, in the third quarter, once again, it used to be the 76ers kryptonite. They used to be cooking, and the third quarter would come around, and there's just nothing they could do. The game would completely fall apart, especially under Mr. No Adjustment Doc Rivers. They used to absolutely die in the third quarter. Now 3 games in a row, the first 2 games they come back from a deficit, which got extended in the third quarter. This game, they have the lead, right? They're up 15, I think. They were up 15 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Third quarter comes around. Things start to look like they've looked in the third quarter recently, which is the energy dies, the ball movement stops, the strategy looks like it completely disappears, too much ISO ball, and the team just gets stale, and the other team makes a run, and that's exactly what happened in this third quarter. The Magic go on a 9-0 run in 1 minute and 30 seconds. All the way back within 5. Sixers team of old loses this game, especially with no Joel Embiid. Sixers team of old loses this game when a team goes on a run like that in the third quarter. They would die mentally. You know, they would lose all the momentum and the air just got taken out of the building, and they would just, it doesn't happen this year. They fight, they claw, they refuse to go down. And Tyrese Maxey, man. Tyrese Maxey. You know, shout out to VJ Edgecombe, first of all, because fourth quarter comes around, right? Tyrese is still on the bench. Nurse is clearly saving him for the end of the fourth, wants to give him a nice breather, and VJ gave him that. A 20-year-old rookie, VJ Edgecombe, was running the team in the fourth quarter again. This is what I saw him do in game 1, his first ever NBA game. He was running the team. He was running point and creating offense in the fourth quarter of an NBA game against NBA veterans. The reason, one of the biggest reasons the 76ers couldn't win a game last year is because if Tyrese Maxey wasn't out there, nobody was doing anything, right? And so in those stints where you would try to get Tyrese a breather, you just couldn't survive. VJ Edgecombe was running the team in that fourth quarter while Maxey was on the bench, giving Maxey a breather. Maxey came back in with, 7 minutes left? And I'm going to talk about Eric Gordon too, don't you worry. Because he hit 2 big threes in that stint right there. VJ had a little bit of a scoring punch. Gordon hit 2 threes. Maxey comes back in with about 7 minutes left and just starts going ham. Like he was shot out of a cannon. Okay, we're struggling a little bit. Okay, we were up by 15. They came all the way back, and it's a 2-point game. It's my job to fix that. I got you. Tyrese rips off 8 straight points when he came back in the fourth quarter and legitimately put the Orlando Magic away single-handedly. And I know a lot goes into winning a basketball game. But what you're seeing from Tyrese Maxey this season is on the verge of being MVP-level basketball. Tyrese Maxey is no longer just a guy that can get buckets. He's no longer Joel Embiid's sidekick. He's no longer a second option. He's no longer, he needs this, he needs that, he needs to be in this situation with these players on the floor to get this done, to get that. Tyrese Maxey is on a different level this season. 2 years ago, he's a 26-point-per-game All-Star. Last year pissed him off. You know Tyrese loves to win. He loves the game. He hated what happened last season. And this is it. This, just what you're witnessing in the next 5 years is Tyrese Maxey's absolute prime. And you're witnessing it right now. He has entered his prime. He's the number 1 option on this team right now. And for the third time in 3 games, he dominated the fourth quarter and led the 76ers to victory. You are seeing number 1 option Tyrese Maxey right now. 2 40-point games in the first 3 games of the season. And what I love about this is Tyrese started the game 3 for 10 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. And he didn't let it affect him. He didn't let that poor shooting in the beginning of the game get to his head, get to his mental, and take him off his game. He didn't care. He just, short-term memory, he just came back, kept trying, kept fighting. And I mean, man, he came in the fourth quarter, and that is just, that's NBA star level stuff. That is NBA star level stuff that you saw from Tyrese Maxey in that fourth quarter. That is absolutely NBA star level stuff. We have the most humble 2 guards ever. Man, the combination of Tyrese and VJ is feeling unstoppable. And what did Grimes have off the bench again? Grimes had some runs. Grimes had 14 off the bench. But Grimes really, Grimes was really stumbling in that third quarter. I feel like, Grimes, Drummond was getting beat at the rim. There was a lot going on in that third quarter that led, to the Orlando Magic making the comeback that they made and getting it all the way down to a 2-point game. VJ gives Tyrese a break. Tyrese leads the 76ers back to victory. Now, I want to read the chat. I want to take your Discord calls. I see people hanging out in the Discord. Jump in the Discord, and I'll take your call because I want to hear your thoughts. But first, Run It Back Philly is brought to you by Bright Medical Technology. The 76ers are getting back on their game. They have started this season 3-0, and they are looking totally different performance-wise than they looked last season. If you are struggling to perform in the bedroom, Bright Medical's got you covered. Bright Medical offers generic Viagra, Sildenafil, and Cialis Tadalafil, 30 tablets for $40 delivered to your door. This is the lowest cost in the area. All you need to do is call 215-725-MEDS. That's 215-725-6337. When you call, mention Run It Back Philly, and you'll get 10% off your first month's supply. Bright Medical is Pennsylvania's largest medical supply company with products and solutions for patients from all ages, infants to seniors. They are a family-owned business right here in the heart of Philadelphia, and they are fans of the show. Bright Medical takes all calls in-house, no automated call system, and speaks 9 languages. The 76ers are getting back to performing this season. You can also get back to performing with Bright Medical. Thank you to Bright Medical for sponsoring the show. I'm helping you in so many ways, man. I'm helping you in so many ways. Let's bring the stats up here and cover some more things, man. Shout out to everybody. 631 in here. Hit the like button for me one time. Give me 631 likes. Alba Henderson, thank you for being a member of the channel. In the 8 years I've followed the Sixers, even when we were bookmakers, favorites to do things, this is by turn into something I have never saw from them, even with Jimmy. Woo! Alba! Alba's on the after 3 games, Alba is on the verge of putting this team over top of the Jimmy team, which is the only team. Well, they didn't get out of the second round either, did they? But they almost did. They got the closest to getting out of the second round since 2001. Amir Bey, thank you for being a member of the channel. No reason to be ashamed, fellas. Bright Medical will help you perform like Maxey on a Monday. Facts! Big facts. You can drop 40. I don't really know what that means as a metaphor, but watching Maxey play basketball games gives me the same feeling watching Hurts play football does. Shout out to that. Matt Leary, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Eastwood giving the... Okay. I just don't understand why people think we will be worse when Embiid, PG, McCain, and Barlow get back. Well, I don't think anybody thinks we'll be worse when Barlow gets back. I don't think anybody thinks we'll be worse when McCain gets back. The thing that people are nervous about is the return of Joel Embiid and the return of Paul George. Because what you're seeing from this team is speed. You're seeing youth and speed. you're seeing the reason there's a 40 and over league, right? When I was 18, 19, 20, we used to go in this rec center, and there was a 40 and over league there, and they wouldn't have enough players to play a game, so they would let us play in the 40 and over, and we'd smoke them, bro. We were 18. These old dudes they would get so mad they would quit and go home because 40-year-old dudes can't run with 18-year-olds, and that's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing, man. You're just seeing. Last year, I was watching a bunch of old guys jog up and down the floor. They were getting destroyed in every way you would imagine old guys would get beat in a basketball game. And this year, the 76ers are just young, athletic. And man, dude, there was that sequence in the second quarter, I think, that put the 76ers up 15. Where Dembona was just blocking shots left and right. VJ Edgecombe had 2 fast breaks in like 2 minutes. One, he tried to dunk from almost the foul line, and Jalen Suggs fouled him on the arm. Then he came back down the floor again, and Suggs tried to take a charge. He was like, I'm not getting dunked on. And he tried to take a charge. VJ just lefty lay. And that sequence was wild. They were just sprinting up and down the floor. I think it's the same sequence where VJ had a block on Paolo from behind under the rim. I mean, the combination of Tyrese at this stage of his career and VJ being this good this early and being that damn athletic, it just seems like it's a perfect match of energy. And I'm feeling like the basketball gods are rewarding us. Matthew Woodland, thank you for the super chat. Sixers, young core, a bunch of dogs. Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see when Joel comes back. We'll see when Paul George comes back, man. Nick Nurse has some decisions to make when those guys come back because you still want to play fast. We know what Joel's role is. It's like, what is Paul George's role on this team? It's going to be interesting, but we will see. What else I want to say, man? Eric Gordon checked in the third quarter, and I sat and I stared at the screen for what felt like 20 minutes, and I didn't say a word. And I said because I'm not gonna scream, I'm not gonna rant this year. I'm not. I know I say that every year. But I said very calmly, would somebody in the chat like to explain to me why Eric Gordon is in this basketball game? And somebody said, Grimes has three fouls, Justin Edwards has 3 fouls. And I said, okay. Eric Gordon was in the game because those guys had some foul trouble right before the second half. You didn't want those guys to pick up their 4th foul before the end of the half, right? And then in the third quarter, and this was actually part of a Magic run, which is funny because players can score points, right? But a combination of guys getting destroyed defensively will still put you in a hole. And it's kind of what happened there. Nick Nurse liked what he saw from Eric Gordon, decided to keep playing him. Eric hit a deep 3 from the left wing, almost at the logo. He hit another 3, right? And, I wanted to say in the second quarter, VJ was on a little bit of a run there. And it felt to me like Eric Gordon was like, all right, nephew, give me the rock. That's when Gordon drove in and did the lefty lay where he didn't even jump off the ground because he's 50. And Nick Nurse saw that and he was like, I've seen enough. More Eric Gordon. Anyway, third quarter, Eric Gordon's still out there. He hits the 2 threes back to back, right? But Andre Drummond was getting destroyed in the paint in that third quarter. And shout out to Nick Nurse for making the change and not running it into the ground. Now you're without Joel, so he had to play Bona. Dembona came back in and shored up the interior defense that Drummond was having trouble with. But I do think that the combination of Eric Gordon and Andre Drummond on the floor together was too slow, and they were getting beat on the other side of the floor. But shout out to Eric Gordon for hitting the 2 threes. Now, there was a third attempt that pissed me off because Maxey came back in the game. VJ's out there. And Eric Gordon takes the rock and says, "Give me the rock, nephew," and chucks another 3. And I'm like, bro, you did your job. You hit a couple threes. Now get the fuck out, bro. Give the ball to the young guys and go ice your knees, man. Anyway, shout out to Eric Gordon for the performance. Shout out to Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre, massive tip in the fourth quarter from under the basket. Don't even know how he got to it. Kelly Oubre had 25, 10, and 4. And I want to say this before I get to the Discord calls because I want to leave some things for you guys to say too. I know sometimes I just ramble for an hour and then you're like, what do I say? This motherfucker said everything I wanted to say. I think Kelly Oubre has fully recovered from getting hit by a car last year, 2 years ago. When we signed Kelly Oubre, he had 27 points in the season opener against the Bucks 2 years ago. He was absolutely cooking in his role. And what you're seeing is a high-level role player in Kelly Oubre, right? And anytime he's on a team like the Charlotte Hornets or the Washington Wizards, where there's no real identity and he has to try to create offense, he's going to look like a negative player, right? Shoots 28% from 3. Yeah, he averaged 20 points per game on the Charlotte Hornets, but it was terrible efficiency. And he almost didn't get a contract because of that. But once he's around a team that has clear leaders and players who are just much more gifted, offensively and shot creation-wise, and he can just fit in as an athletic wing who crashes the boards, plays defense, this is what Kelly Oubre looks like. And I'm so happy for him because that summer, after he played for the Hornets, he almost didn't get an NBA contract until Daryl Morey signed him. And he with what the team looked like last year, it wasn't fair again because all of a sudden you have Caleb Martin and Kelly Oubre out there trying to create offense, and it exposes him and it makes him look bad. And then you see him now on a cohesive team where he can just play his role, and he's thriving. 25, 10, and 4. 2 blocks. A massive tip back in the late in the fourth quarter. You're getting the best out of Kelly Oubre right now. And Maxey gives you 43, 8, and 4. VJ gives you 26. 16 from Grimes off, 14 from Grimes off the bench. Unbelievable. The team's unbelievable so far, man. And I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to say they're going to do the unthinkable. All I know is this team right now is a hell of a lot of fun to watch. And last season was absolute torture. And so whatever happens this year, as long as this team's flying up and down the floor and playing hard and making it fun and making it exciting, I'm happy about it. Shout out to M with the super chat. PG is still an elite perimeter defender, facilitator, and three-point shooter. He just can't finish at the rim anymore. He'll fit in fine with the young boys. And M, he was actually, in that first preseason game that Paul George played. And shout out to 740 people in here. Hit the like button for me. Let's get up to 1,000 live viewers. And I'm going to get to the Discord. So thank you for being in the Discord. Thank you for being patient. Last year, Paul George's one preseason game, he looked really damn good. I even made a video called The Paul George Effect. You can go check that on YouTube. I was all in on Paul George after that one preseason game. And then he hyperextended his knee. And then he hyperextended it again. And then all season long, he played timid. And I was mad about it. And I was probably going way overboard on Paul George last year. Because I was calling him soft mentally. But the more I really looked at it and think about it, and I had a whole off season to cool down, I really think he was struggling mentally as far as attacking the rim because he had a big knee brace on. He hyperextended his knee. Don't forget he broke his leg in half in 2014, So I think that really affected him mentally as far as his confidence and attacking and trusting, the strength of his legs and just a fear of injury, And so if Paul George is back this year to at least what he looked like in that one preseason game or, the 74 games he played for the Clippers where he averaged 22 points a game, right before he signed with the Sixers. Yeah, he'll fit in absolutely well, and you're absolutely right. And he's Paul George is underrated facilitator, still a great perimeter defender. And the year before the 76ers signed him, he was the highest catch-and-shoot three-point shooter in the NBA at 45%. So I completely agree with you, and I hope you're right. We'll see when he gets back on the floor, man. Sixers are 3-0. Talk to me on the Discord, man. Talk to me on the Discord. Yo, Feezy468 is in the Discord. Feezy, what's going on?
DJ.
What's up, man?
Man, DJ, let me tell you something. The last Sixers game I watched last season was probably that Sixers Celtics game.
Christmas Day.
Christmas. Yes.
Bro
And
said
every single game-
you said we got a dub. I'm done watching for the year.
No.
Go ahead.
Every single game I turned on after that, I had to turn it off. It got bad. I would watch your show instead of watching the game. No, like I mean, seriously, your show
I
was
had a
more
lot-
entertaining than.
Bro, I had a lot of people tell me that, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, it was bad. It was bad last year, man.
And look, if we had to sacrifice that horrible season for this product that we're watching right now, I'm completely content with that. This is the most fun I've had watching basketball, maybe ever, honestly.
Right, man. It's fun. We're watching, like, it's exciting. Things are happening. Guys are blocking shots. Guys are diving on the floor. Guys are dunking the ball. Guys are hitting transition threes. It's wild, man. And we went through hell, and this is a lot of fun to watch so far.
Yeah, and I think the main reason that is this fun to watch and this exciting is the effort. We watched Tobias Harris 5 years. He was playing with he got paid a max contract and never played hard, ever. Rarely played hard. We had to watch that for 5 years, and it made you like want to tear your eyes out of your eye
Dubs in the
sockets.
chat. Dubs in the chat for Feezy blaming Tobias Harris. Dubs in the chat. Anytime somebody blames Tobias Harris for anything, Dubs in the chat. You're absolutely right, man. That guy's mentality ruined the season last year. I'm 100% blame Tobias Harris.
No, like, I mean, I'm just using Tobias Harris to make a point, but like,
No, I get it.
Watching guys like Jabari Walker, Dominic Barlow didn't play, but like even Dominic Barlow the last few seasons, VJ Edgecombe, obviously, Kelly Oubre, these players are like technically not as good as Tobias Harris, but like, it's just the effort. Like, it's so fun to watch, and
Right.
Adembona played great. Andre Drummond has been putting in the effort, and he's played pretty good.
And you know
I'm
what that
I'm really glad
does?
of them.
You know what that does, man? That
What does that do, man?
incentivizes these guys
It does, yeah.
to play that hard when they come back, you know? Because Paul George doesn't want to come back with all these young guys giving it 110% every play and look like the one that's, out there, not, playing soft. So it incentivizes these guys to play hard. Tobias Harris wasn't incentivized. He never when the lights were the brightest, when it came down to it, he just wasn't going to do it. I mean, his last game as a Sixer, 0 points. That's unreal in a Game 6 elimination game. But yeah, I agree with you, man. It's the mentality. It's 100% the mentality. These dudes, they're not overpaid divas, man. They got nothing to lose, and they're out there just trying their absolute hardest, and it's a lot of fun to watch, man. Thank you so much for calling, Feezy.
Yeah, thank you.
Feezy468 on the Discord. Great point, man. Great point about mentality. Excellent job blaming Tobias Harris. Anytime we can blame Tobias Harris for something. Shout out to the Crumble Cookie box in the background. You can't see, but I still have it. For those that haven't seen it, I traded Tobias Harris to a Crumble Cookie location. I went in a Crumble Cookie location, and I told the owner I will trade him Tobias Harris for a Crumble Cookie. It's on YouTube. If you haven't seen that video, go watch. Alexander Vischer with the super chat. Great game for VJ and Maxey, at least from the stat line. Unfortunately, couldn't watch due to work. I just hope PG comes back on fire. Alex, you missed a heater, bro. you missed a heater because it fell apart in the third quarter, and the VJ Edgecombe ran the team in the beginning of the fourth. They refused to let the Magic come back and win this game, and then Tyrese Maxey came back and put it away, man. You missed a heater. Thank you so much for the super chat and the support. Make sure you go watch at least the fourth quarter. I'm not talking, don't watch the highlights, don't watch the recap. I'm talking, no, go and watch the third and fourth quarter in its entirety. It was prime entertainment, man. SG on the Discord. Yo, SG. Yo. SG on the Discord.
Hey man, how you doing?
What's up, man? What's up, man? I'm calling you SG. Is that your name? What should I call you?
That's I'm SG from way back, man. Biased knees.
SG from way back. That's a good nickname. SG from way back, man. All right, man.
Go back. So I'm excited. I had to stop watching the games towards the end of last year. I was buying into your predictions all summer long with the bad season that was coming up.
Man, I was on, bro. I was so out on this team, man. I was so mad. I was like, they're gonna start and they're gonna start 1-10, and Nick Nurse is gonna get fired. I hated this team so much.
Yeah. And then how you felt about Ace and and everything. But to bring it all home, man, like what I noticed today when I was watching this game, the thing that really came to my mind is how well Tyrese Maxey played, 40 points in 3 games. But now we're looking at the fact that Tyrese Maxey has developed so far, and his predecessor, I hope I'm saying that right, before him was Ben Simmons holding him up.
Yeah.
And now Ben Simmons is out of the league.
Yep. Facts.
So it's like now, here we are, prime Tyrese Maxey going crazy, putting up 40 points a game, closing the game out without Joel Embiid. Here we are. We can win games without Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons is retired. And so now I'm one of the happiest Sixers fans that there ever could be in America.
Hey, man.
Philadelphia.
Hey, man. Thank you so much, man. SG, thank you for calling the show, man. Thank you for tuning in for years, man. I appreciate it. Great call, man. I'm happy, too.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Shout out to SG on the Discord. Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, that is wild to think about. That Ben Simmons was out there, And remember that Hawks game? I don't want to take you guys back to misery, but remember that Game 7 against the Hawks. And in that series, I was at a game with RB and somebody else that we're not going to mention. No intros. Some people know what that means. We were at a playoff game that Shake Milton took over the fourth quarter, right? And helped the Sixers with this. See, the Sixers always ran into a problem with Ben Simmons in the playoffs because he can't shoot the ball. So all you do is you back up 20 feet, you guard him with your center, it's over, it's a wrap, you can't play point guard, right? Shake Milton saved the day in that game, okay? I think that was game 2 of that series. Tyrese Maxey, same situation. Ben Simmons can't play in the playoffs because he won't shoot, clogs the lane, can't play point guard, need a point guard in there, right? Tyrese Maxey in game 4 or 5 saved the Ben Simmons minutes, right? And in game 7, when the same thing happened, Doc Rivers refused to go to young Tyrese Maxey. I think it was Tyrese's rookie season. And he went to 39-year-old, damn, what the hell was his name, man? Point guard from way back for no reason, who hardly played a single minute for the Sixers. And they lost. Gerald, I want to say, it's not, somebody in the chat. Who was the point guard that Doc Rivers played in? George Hill! Shout out to CJ Sixers. Doc Rivers went to freaking 50-year-old George Hill for no reason. and didn't give Tyrese Maxey the shine that he deserved after he helped the Sixers win one of those playoff games. But anyway, yeah, it is wild to think about that we went through all that Ben Simmons stuff, and you're watching Tyrese Maxey go from that to this, and it's just incredible, man. Fredo Ashtray on the Discord. Fredo Ashtray.
Hello.
Fredo's Ashtray. What's up, man?
How's it going, Eastwood?
It's going, man. What's up?
Last year, we don't win this game. This year, it's a different year. It's a different Sixers. It's a different smell in the air in Philadelphia this year. And we're not even fully healthy yet. Everybody's not back yet, and we're looking good.
Man, it really is, man. It is a different energy, isn't it, man? It is a different energy. What do you think it is? What changed the energy this much?
Maybe it's last year. They know the fans were pissed off. We have every right to be. Didn't go to plan. Everybody was hurt. This year they're coming in. You know what? We got to make these fans smile. We got to put a smile on their face. We got to play different. We got to play hard. That's all they want is hard work. So that's the least we can do. And wow, who would have known hard work means we could win some games even without Embiid?
Yeah. You know, I mean, one of the biggest problems in professional sports lately is the amount of money some guys are getting paid. And then, you know, some of these guys get paid, man, and it's like, why would they go out there and really care that much after they've been in the league for 15 years and made $400 million? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get the same level of just putting your body on the line that you get from young guys who got something to prove. And that's really what's going on here. There's a lot of players on this team that have something to prove. Jabari Walker, VJ Edgecombe, the Rook, of course. Tyrese Maxey just loves hooping and wants to win so bad, so he's always going to have something to prove. There's just a lot of guys out there that just have something to prove, man. And they're just fighting. They're refusing to give up. And I think, yeah, last year, man, we saw them quit a lot of times. And that's why the Philly fans hate that, man. Philly fans boo. They boo their own team. And it's not just because the team is playing bad. It's when they see a lack of effort is when the fans will start to give it to you. And this team is just giving it 100%. They refuse to stop.
Yeah, one last thing I want to say is that the guard play this year is going to mean a lot because as long as the guards play good, and McCain hasn't played yet, but guard play means less minutes Joel Embiid has to carry the Sixers on the floor, and that means less pressure on the knee, which means if we make it to the playoffs and he's good, that's when you could kind of give him the ball and say, hey, go be an MVP and everybody's here and we're going to kick some ass. We're going to win.
Absolutely, man. We'll see what happens. Yo, Fredo, thank you so much for calling the show, man.
No problem.
Shout out to Fredo on the Discord. I'm going to take one more Discord call before I get to the go over to the Twitter reports. I'm trying to get to some people that I haven't seen before in here, give some new callers a shot. So if I didn't get to you, I'm just trying to get some new callers on here, give some new callers a shot. But thank you so much for coming through and hanging out in the Discord. Akeem Shaw, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's the deal, man? Shout out to you, bro, because I moved to Miami 5 years ago, and I feel like I'm out here by myself. You definitely making me feel like I got somebody to watch the game with. But
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, real rap. But man, a few things, man. Like first and foremost, I feel like the Maxey effect on the team, him going to the gym multiple times a day early in the morning. I think with him being there longer than most of the people there is starting to affect the team. And now they all probably picking up that habit and is making us better. Kelly Oubre understands it now, whatever that means. He finally got over himself, and I think he understands his role. And I just want to say that I think if everybody, including Embiid, including Paul George, understand that this is Tyrese Maxey team, we ain't got nothing to worry about. When they come back, whoever, whatever, they got to understand it's his team, though. What you think?
Yeah, I think so too, man. And honestly, the one game the 76ers looked good last season was the Christmas Day game against the Celtics. And Maxey, I think, had either 37 or 40 or 45 or something, right? And the whole that whole game was running through him, and Joel was on the floor. Joel was playing, sidekick in that game.
Right.
And I think that's the formula now. As Joel ages, his game, if he can get on the floor, his game is going to age well because he has so much skill and such a good jump shot. So he can play for a lot of years if his knees hold up, right? But I don't think he's ever going to be that 35-point per game dominant, just physical dominant guy that he was. And so as he declines athletically and goes more into that like Tim Duncan style of role, not that Tim Duncan wasn't great in his prime, but I'm just talking athletically.
Oh, Tim Duncan.
Athletically,
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
stationary. Yeah, athletically, like stationary style of play, not running and dunking on people. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey's the guy, and that needs to be the pecking order. It does, man. I agree.
Yep, on or off the court. First game, him looking off Embiid 4 or 5 times showed us everything we needed to know.
Yep.
He understands his team now, whether he on the court or whether he off. And if Embiid go into the Tim Duncan style, stop worrying about being a point guard, we good.
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah, that's all I got, though, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you so much for calling the show. That is Akeem Shaw on the Discord. Shout out to the Discord callers. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for adding to the conversation. Where am I at here? I'm trying to get back to my chat. Yeah, let's go over to Twitter and read some reports, man, before we get out of here. Tim Bontemps. Per the great Stats Williams, Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe have combined for 186 points this season. That is the most points by any starting backcourt through any team's first 3 games of a season since starters were first tracked in 1971. Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe have combined for 186 points in 3 games. We're not talking the most by a rookie. We're not talking the most by a player and a rookie. That's the most points by any starting backcourt through the first 3 games of a season since 1971. What am I witnessing? What type of sorcery is this? What type of black magic am I watching? This doesn't even make sense. How can it go from historically bad to historically good in 12 months? This is Philadelphia sports. There is no middle ground. It's either great or terrible. That's an unbelievable stat. Shout out to Tim Bontemps for that. 3 in a row. Keith Pompey. Sixers improved to 3-0 after beating the Magic. Wow, an incredible tweet, Keith. The Joel Embiid-less Sixers post a stellar wire-to-wire victory over the Orlando Magic. Outstanding efforts from Maxey, VJ, Kelly. We need more stats, bro. We need more stats. No Embiid, George McCain, Barlow, or Watford. Tyrese Maxey drops 43. VJ Edgecombe 26, 3 and 7. Oubre 25, 10 and 4. The energy on this team, the camaraderie is insane. Sixers are 3-0 to start 25-26. They did not win their 3rd game of 24-25 until November 22nd. They were 3-12 at the time. The 76ers last year did not win their 3rd game until they lost 12 games. They are 3-0 right now. Unbelievable. Kelly Oubre has been fantastic. Oubre has been a difference maker in this one. He made a lot of the little plays. Yeah, Oubre is back to what he's best at, man. What he's best at is fitting in, playing a role. When he's forced into situations where he has to try to be the guy, he's going to get exposed. But this is the role that Kelly Oubre plays so well. And his 3-point shooting, knock on wood, been pretty damn good so far. With his 5th rebound of the game, Andre Drummond reached 11,000 career rebounds. Shout out to Andre, but he was getting cooked at the rim in the 3rd quarter. And I'm happy Nick Nurse made the adjustment, man. And, I don't know if Nick Nurse makes that adjustment to bring Adem Bona in that game in the fourth quarter if Joel Embiid's not on a scheduled rest back-to-back. But, Andre wasn't cutting it interior defense-wise in that third quarter. And they had to put Adem Bona back in there. And I want to shout out Adem Bona again, man. Because, last game I was saying Adem Bona looked unplayable. Or, he's doing something that Nick Nurse hates, right? And he's not getting any minutes. And in game one, when they went small ball in the fourth quarter, I was like, they should at least have Adem Bona out there to guard the rim. They didn't do that in game one. Game two, I think he played for 3 minutes. And Andre Drummond played amazing in the fourth quarter and dominated the boards and had the big putback dunk. In this game, Drummond was struggling defensively with the Orlando Magic's speed, and Nick Nurse put Adem Bona out there. And Adem Bona had himself a game, man, and I'm happy for Adem Bona because, a second-round pick, he's going to have ups and downs, but, I would just love to see Adem Bona come around and have himself a good career, man, because he's 6'10", 250. He's athletic as hell. In Adem Bona's how many damn minutes did he play? In Adem Bona's 25 minutes, he was a plus 21. That is the highest plus minus on the team. 76ers were sinking. The Magic had it all the way down to 2. And Adem Bona came in the game and gave us that interior defense that we needed. He had some monster blocks in his game. Monster blocks. And he got called for a couple ticky-tack fouls early. I felt like he did a good job the rest of the game of defending the rim without fouling. He only had 2 personal fouls technically this entire game. And the Maxey drive on the right side and Adem Bona coming baseline, the alley-oop, it's just so beautiful. And it's so nice to have NBA players like Adem Bona and like VJ Edgecombe who can jump and dunk the ball, Sixers fans, remember all the years that I used to be like, what? Like, I watch a lot of NBA games. I watch as much other teams as I can on NBA League Pass, and every night I'm watching other. For years, I was like, why does every team have 6'10" athletes that can run and dunk the basketball, and the Sixers can't find any? I'm finally seeing high athleticism, fun basketball from the 76ers. The athleticism of VJ Edgecombe and Adem Bona on the floor together is wild. I think that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Tyrese Maxey's on a heater. The 76ers and the 76ers refuse to quit. There's just a different energy this year. Nick Nurse said last year he wants the fans to, when they leave the arena, to feel like the Sixers gave it all they had. There was a lot of discussions this offseason about effort. Something happened. There's definitely a roster change. We're playing a lot younger, athletic guys. You drafted VJ. You got Grimes coming off the bench. Drummond's healthy. Bona in his second year. But something changed. Because this team is just giving such a ridiculous effort compared to last season. And they refuse to quit. I can't even put the Tyrese Maxey VJ Edgecombe combination into words. The most points by a backcourt in the first 3 games since 1971. That's what happened. 0 Lowry minutes, and Tobias Harris is gone. Well, Tobias Harris was gone last year, wasn't he? Didn't Tobias Harris play for the Pistons last year? Yeah. But either way. Yeah, something changed, man. This team is playing above the rim and just sprinting up and down the floor. And there's going to be some streaks, Everybody pump the brakes. There's going to be some streaks, definitely. There, things are going to happen They're going to go on a 5-game losing streak, and the Sixers fans are going to be on Twitter saying the sky's falling, you know. But this team is going to bounce back. That's what I'm seeing. And even when they go on those losing streaks that are inevitable, this team's going to bounce back. They have a level of camaraderie. They have a level of brotherhood. There's something going on. These guys are just all in it together, man. It's so much fun to watch so far. And we got a lot to look forward to because we don't know what they're going to look like when some of these guys come back. But I did not expect this to start the season, man. I did not expect this to start the season. Thanks for tuning in. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify in audio form. Go over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. That'll help us rank up on Apple Podcasts. We're trying to pass the rights to Ricky Sanchez on the Apple Podcast rankings. Let me type in Sixers real quick, see where we are. We are locked on past us again. We are 4th when you type in Sixers on Apple Podcasts. Focus. Go over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review to help us rank up. Thank you to Bright Medical for sponsoring all of these post-game live shows. Bright Medical is located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They are Pennsylvania's largest medical supply company. They have a full-service pharmacy, and they can help you get back on your game. Call the number, 215-725-MEDS. That's 6337. Now, how do I wind down and go to sleep after this, man? That's my problem. I want you guys to know. I know this is the end of the stream. If anyone's still listening, personally, my biggest problem lately, and I think last year I didn't have as much trouble because I wasn't amped up after the game because they sucked. You know what I mean? So we were dragging through games last season, right? And I was like tired in the fourth quarter and didn't give a shit anyway. So I think I would just go downstairs and go to sleep. This year in 3 games, I'm so damn freaking amped up. By the end of the game, I can't go to bed until like 1 a.m, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I love you. You're making this channel the absolute biggest 76ers channel in existence. It's crazy. Thank you so much for the support. And I'll see you